Remember that movie, Home Alone, starring the brilliant Macaulay Culkin, the big hit, of course, from a few decades back now. Yes, I think it was the 90s, wasn't it? You lose track of decades, don't you? You do, though, don't you? Seriously. And he's all grown up now, isn't he, Macaulay Culkin? But what's interesting about that movie is you could apply that title, of course, to none other than the former royal Prince Harry. Fascinating, this. Let me explain. Morning, how are you? Thank you so much for your company. By the way, did you know on this week, this particular week that we're filming this was the week that the British royal family decided to change their name for full, basically, based on His Majesty the King, to Windsor. Yes, the House of Windsor was formed on this week in 1917. Apparently they wanted to make it more appealing to the British market. See, influencers, marketeers, it's all gone on before. And when you think about it now, I don't know about you, but do you think of them as Windsors? I'm not so sure. It's I mean, obviously I know it's a name we use, but I don't necessarily you just think of them as Prince Harry, don't you? The Princess of Wales, Catherine. I never think of the name Windsor at the end. Can you imagine meeting the Queen as, oh, hello, Mrs. Windsor? Wouldn't really seem right, would it? I know. Back as ever to your royal story of the day. This is tricky because, as we told you recently, Prince Harry is interested in making a move back over here to the United Kingdom for a home, you know, some base, some place that he can come back to without either having to stay inside royal palaces, and by that asking permission via, of course, courtiers to His Majesty the King, his father, King Charles III. Now, while glossy magazines and stuff may say, no, the Sussexes aren't looking for a home, what they really mean is Meghan's not looking for a home. She doesn't want to come back here to the United Kingdom. And so the bottom line is this, and as ever we say allegedly, that Harry has to look for somewhere that he could possibly find a home alone, you see. And this is where, again, it's really murky grounds because Meghan just does not see herself returning. There's no reason to return. She has no family here, no connection, other than, of course, Harry's family. And as she's not speaking to any of them, what would be the point in returning? Now, the reason, of course, Harry wouldn't mind returning is the fact that he still remains, to some, which is very annoying, a councillor of state. Now, he can only be removed from that by His Majesty the King via Parliament. A lot of people over here think, well, look, you've already said you're basing yourself in America and you perhaps may become an American citizen, which again, you would have to relinquish the titles, you see. So interesting again. As for looking for somewhere to live, that really does actually still stand. Harry doesn't really want to be using private members clubs and hotels each and every time he returns. Not only is it a cost, but also there's a security element. And if he had a small bijou pad, as were, somewhere he could sort of bed down, well, then it makes it a lot easier to make more indiscreet trips back and forth to the United Kingdom without all the paraphernalia, and of course allowing the media to know when he's flying in privately into one of the private airstrips. You get the picture. But moving forward with this particular story, it's interesting because, as I say, Meghan has zilch interest in anything. So if Harry's looking at any properties or anything like that with consideration to coming back here to the United Kingdom, he's looking at them literally alone. She doesn't want to know, not interested in the size, the bedrooms, the locations, whatever. She does not see herself, and indeed has no desire to return back here to the United Kingdom. Now, that's a big statement, and of course, if some juicy publicity opportunity angle would come her way, and of course she saw maybe a rapprochement from His Majesty the King where she could possibly reintroduce him back to the grandchildren he's never seen, well, that will be totally different. But for now, Harry's literally home alone. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.